stuff. But on a serious note, dude, like thanks for coming by on the podcast, and congratulations on the release of your self-titled album for Young Culture, dude.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good. Just been trying to, like relax this week because like release weeks always make me really nervous. But like this one in particular, I'm like it freaks me out. But I'm like more excited than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably because like it's very rare that you see bands that come out with self-titled albums, which I think in retrospect means like this is the whole vibe of the band. Like this is everything you guys put into it, or girls, depending on the album who was being
There
written
you go,
by.
George.
So.
Be all inclusive. Well, there you go. That's what I want.
Like, so I'm sure this was something that you have put so much time and effort into between you three and your producers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like this is going to be who you guys want to identify as a band, right?
That's like, yeah, I mean, that's like what it is, it's like, it's our self-titled album, and like, that's all that like we really want out of it, like, is, I mean, like, obviously, like, this, like, it's kind of like, we're here, this is us, like, and it's just the beginning, you know what I mean, like, it's what Young Culture is, it's kind of like what the name means, and like, that's what this album is, and it holds a very special place in my heart, for sure.
The name is like so fitting, just because after I got done listening to you guys, like you definitely have like this pop vibe to it. Like you definitely have a lot of pop influences aside from the pop punk sound. So it's cool that you kind of acknowledge that, because I was listening to your Audiotree session, and I remember that they kind of asked the question about like you guys were like messing around with a Katy Perry riff, like impromptu, like as you were doing the sound check. So do you purposely go for that kind of that tone or that kind of like production sound, or is it just like that is what it is and that's how it happens? Because you kind of like dance between that pop and pop punk kind of line.
Yeah. No, I'd say it's never like, okay, like we're trying to like we're going out of our way to ever do something. I just think like from when we started it, like this is like the sound that we wanted to go for, and like but we all grew up like pop punk kids, and like that's just kind of what we like had always known in the music that we'd always made. I don't think we've ever really gone out of our way to like try to like sound like something. Like it's like if we're gonna do something, it's just because it like feels right,
For sure.
Yeah, it's something that you just thoroughly wanted to do. I love when bands do that. There's very few bands that that when they are marketing themselves in the industry, they go for what they love about writing their music. They're not following, let's say, like a checklist of like, all right, it needs to be intro, chorus, or intro, verse, bridge, and have this lined out, and it needs to sound like this or like that, because that's the cookie cutter way of creating like hit songs and stuff. And I thoroughly enjoy when bands really like just have an all around idea of what they want to put into the album, and they're not worried about what other people basically think. It's just like something that you guys want to do for the love of your album, especially your debut LP.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's really like how I feel about this one. It's like I'm not doing it right now really for anybody except for me, and it's like people are either gonna like it or they're not, and like all I know is that like to the three of us, like it's exactly like how we pictured it. And, it's exactly what we wanted.
That's kind of like the best time or not the best time, but like the best situation though. I feel like if you kind of just let it all hang out, like you're letting go of what any trepidation you had of like writing anything. So the fact that you're comfortable enough now to kind of just like go like, screw it. Like this is what it's going to be. This is what I am. This is what our sound is. Like that must be a pretty freeing feeling, because already you guys have enough energy through your live shows that it's already a good time. So the fact that you're getting over that bridge now, I can't imagine what the live stuff's going to sound like once we get back at it.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, it's like we've always been doing that. It's just like I don't really know any other way. Like I couldn't like imagine going into a studio like and like compromising.
Yeah.
Like what I want. If we ever got to cross that bridge, that'll be that. But I mean, like at least right now, like especially with this, like it's 100% me, it's 100% Young Culture, and it's definitely our first one. So
yeah, I got listen to the whole album. I mean, this is going to be released on next Wednesday. Today's the 13th being recorded, so the album will already be out by now. It seems like you guys have a really angelic, like refreshing sound, and like as well as just like your in your face kind of hype up music. Like you guys like, it's like a bag of Skittles with this album, man. Like it's just everything's a different flavor. Description. It's delicious, dude. I thoroughly enjoyed it
before this too.
That's a good way to put it. Like angelic, but on 10, because like you're just like, that's like the aesthetic that we want to go for, I guess. Like in some way, But we're also kind of like a bit of wild ones, I think, in some ways.
Have you ever guys heard of the? Oh, go ahead, Zach. Good.
No, go ahead, George. You got it. You seem very passionate about this. Whatever question it is, to make it good.
Have you guys ever listened to the band Camino?
Yeah, I love the band Camino. They're great.
You guys have some influences a little bit in there.
Yeah.
With like the soundtracks in the background and everything. Like.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess so. I mean, yeah, they're definitely like in the realm of like the type of music that like we want to create too. So I mean, but they're awesome, man. Shout out Band Camino. Take us on tour.
They're tight. I've been trying to find their email for their PR for like months because my brother's girlfriend's obsessed with this band. They're nowhere to be found, so I'm sure it'll look. But if you guys, if the band Camino is watching, fuck your pedophile bass player, and you guys are awesome.
Yeah, for real. Like that. Everything else is cool.
Everything else is cool with you guys, but they did the right move and got rid of them, so that's cool. Yeah, but either way, I think it's like something cool that you guys interpreted for what you're interpreting the album for, as leaving your youth behind and such. And is that something that came to a group decision, like mutual feeling with emotion, or is that something that you really like put out in your lyrics specifically?
I mean, yeah. I think it's something that we all like, really felt. Like, I mean, like when me and Gabe started the band, like, like we're always so used to being like youngsters and being like the young ones out of the bunch, and it's just, it's crazy now. Like, it's like I'm 22 and it's like I'm not always like the youngest person in the room anymore, and it's like, it's just kind of weird, like, transitioning from like whatever, like being a teenager to being like a young adult. And it's like this album, I think, really just like, not, maybe if it was intentional, maybe it wasn't, but like just ended up summing up a lot of just like feelings that I had about like youth, and kind of like recapping some like encounters, in my life from this point on.
That is a weird feeling of like being a musician, because I mean, George and I are musicians too, and it's like that moment when you kind of like figure it out as like a teenager and you're jamming with like older dudes, and kind of like in those situations you're always kind of like timid, because it's like you have to pay your dues at some point, and there's no check box, and there's no instruction on how you like get over that. And when you finally surpassed it, where you kind of can be like, you are what you've kind of been working towards, like there's no moment where you have the aha moment. So it's kind of interesting, like hearing you say that, because it really does like bring you back to like thinking like that awkwardness that you have as being like the young person, because like everybody does look at young musicians in a certain way, like because you haven't paid your dues, you haven't been around the block, you haven't experienced everything. So that's kind of cool that you got, because I think with this new album, you guys are definitely coming out of that.
Yeah, I feel that way too, and it's cool that like just even like on a first listen you could pick something up like that, because definitely is all like big parts of me,
Yeah. And what was I about to ask you? Oh, the what's it called? So I blanked. I lost it. Never mind. I'll figure it out at 6. I'll just figure it out at 6:31 after we sign off on this, and I'll be like, son of a bitch.
wait, call him back.
Oh, that's what I had. Oh, for the new album, personally for you, what is your favorite song that you are most proud of?
I think like my favorite one is a single that we put out last week called Haley Beverly 2016. I just like.
I like that. Yeah, it was a good one.
It's a song I wanted to make for a long time, and it's like just like the type of shit that I love, and like so I was really hyped on putting that one out, and I'm really stoked on how that came out. I also really like a song called Anywhere I Go I'm Taking You With Me. I think that we did something really special with that, and just like the amount that we thought that one out. It was really special to me. So yeah.
It's one of my favorite songs that you guys basically put out there. It seems, I mean, I don't know if I'm speaking for you, but let me know if I'm wrong. It seems like you guys are a huge advocate for mental health, and the song that I'm talking about is "I'll Be There." And you guys also put out a 1-800 number to get a chance for your fans to reach out personally and have a talk to you guys. Like that's one of my personal favorites, only because it seems like there was a way for you to have a closer connection with your fans and have that conversation.
Oh, that means a lot. Yeah, I mean, like, it's absolutely what we wanted to do. And, like in the time that it was around, with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and it was like right around the time that we put out that song that all that stuff had happened. And
Wow.
not only just for like mental health, but like for things like that, people needing to talk, I mean, like, I can't say that we're gonna be like the saviors or anything, but like, yeah, no, mental health is huge for us. And like, I know that it just happened to come at like the right time. Like, it was at a time where a lot of people were feeling very rough about, a lot of things. And it's something that we really care about, like if you come to like a young culture show, like it's like, I think people always expect people to like talk to us and like see us and like just interact with us like human beings, and I think that's really important to do in any sense, because like you're never too good to just be a human, you know what I mean? And I think it's just really important for people to know that.
Yeah, it's badass, man. I mean, it's just cool that, I mean, like you said, you're not resolving their problems, you're not giving them a solution, but you're helping them like get a like having the courage to reach out is hard for a lot of people to do. So if you can do that for a handful of people, and they have the opportunity to do so, and they feel like they were trusting you just to get it out of their system, like that's awesome. Because I always find people struggling to talk about their problems, which is okay. But
And it is like it's also like it's a really fine line you got to play with that too, because I mean, obviously you guys are really like starting to hit like your stride as a band and as musicians. So it's like you don't want to be the guys that kind of like force this stuff down people's throats, but like you doing it with those ways, like we clearly figured it out to be able to put stuff that you care so much about into your music and into your craft, like to get those kind of messages across is way more rewarding, and to be able to just let it happen and for people to figure that out, it's like it's a perfect way to do it, especially like right now. I mean, before the George Floyd and all the terrible things that happened leading up to that, like just like COVID, like really just got people down, like being isolated, like that was a real problem. And like, it still is a problem for a lot of people. And I got those vibes when I was listening to the new album on my way home from work. I was like, man, like that, it just like got me in the vibe to like go to shows again, like just feeding off that kind of energy. So for you to be able to circumvent that kind of a message into this kind of music, like that's awesome. That's fantastic. It's everybody's dream.
Appreciate that. I appreciate it.
how was the writing process for this album? I know it must have taking it, a lot of hard work, thought, writing songs that aren't going to go on the album, having to cut songs out while you're in the studio. Yeah. So, I mean, how was that process in Toronto, in Ontario? How did that go?
So, like most of the songs, like, we went there with the songs written and then, like tweaked them a little bit there and whatnot. But, yeah, no, I mean, like, it definitely is, it's wild how you go in with one thing and then, like, it could come out sounding like different than you thought, excuse me. But, yeah, like a lot of the songs would start out and I would be writing them just like me and my acoustic guitar, send the guys a voice memo. But, especially with this album, like the writing process changed quite a bit in the way, like, our guitarist Troy, like for this one, he would send me a lot of riffs and be like, yo, like, what do you think of like something like this? Like, and then I would write something over it and we would get a song that way. Or Gabe would send like a beat that he made in Ableton and like we would get a song like that, And so it's across the board, but I mean, like, it's definitely like more collaborative now than ever. And it's great, man. I love it. Songwriting is like my favorite thing in the world. So getting to write for this was a huge pressure, but also like extremely exciting.
So that's how most of your ideas kind of like come to be is through acoustic though? It starts out like that as a baby and then it grows from there.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, that's majority.
Do you ever just come into the studio just with like something as bare bones as an acoustic thing, and then it kind of evolves into a full production sound?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's a song on the album called Fantasy, and when I wrote it, like I wrote it, and then I was like, no, I don't like this. Like I don't want this on the album. And we had a different song like in its place, and like Gabe and Troy were like all about it. They loved it, and we were in the studio, and they were like, dude, just play it for Anton, who was the guy who was engineering our album. They were like, just play it for him, like just show it to him. And I played it, and I finished it, and he was like, that's like the best one. Like he was like, out of all the things you showed me, that's the best one. How the fuck are you guys not gonna like put that on there? Yeah. And I was like, oh, all right, like guess I'll just go fuck myself. Like, so, yeah, like that one out of all of them like came together the most like in the studio, and that just started out bare bones, but we hashed it out, as we do. That one just was hashed out a little bit later, and I think it's gonna be like one of the fan favorites.
I mean, George he's always been like carrying that torch of like how important it is to have a good engineer or producer to kind of get like the thing that you're not seeing out of something that could end up being like an incredible piece of music. So I know George always likes to bring up how important that is because he's dealt with it a time or two too. So
yeah, yeah, I do. I just when we released our we released our first album with Poeta, like there was one producer I wanted to go to specifically, and I begged and begged. I was like, please guys, like this is literally in our ballpark. He knows exactly how he's going to manipulate the vocals, and it worked out very well. But other than that, I mean, and what's also cool? My favorite album for We Were Sharks, Lost Touch. Sam also produced that album too. Those are my fucking dudes from Canada. So it's cool that you guys had like a really good producer to really take care of you guys. I mean, he's worked with Silverstein too, and he's worked with a good amount of other bands too. So it seems like you guys are in the right ballpark. And how's the collaboration with Sam and Anton? How did that work out?
Great, every single time. This one was special because this time around we got to work with both of them. Anton was in the studio most of the time. Sam mixed it, but they both were around for quite a bit of it, and they're both just incredible to work with. Like Anton's an incredible songwriter, and Sam's a great producer, and it's just really amazing being with them, and they're just so much fun, and they're such fun guys, and they just care so much about music, and I love that. Like I've seen I've worked with people who are like it's so stupid to just care so much about music, and I'm like, no, it's not stupid. Like actually, that's we all have a common theme, and we all love music, and it's like I think it's so dope when I get to work with somebody who's so passionate about music, who loves music, because it's I don't know, I know everybody that I involve myself with. I know probably both of you. Music is everything. It's I don't know what I would be doing in my life if I wasn't involved in music somehow, and it's wild, man. It's a great thing to be a part of,
Dude,
that's kind of that's the biggest reason why George initially started this podcast too, is to be able to not be in that circle, is especially if it means so much to you. It's a really humbling thing, and it makes you realize, I mean, on a bigger scale, us not having live shows has made people realize how important even the live setting is, but just music at a bare basic level. And just being a part of this, being able to talk to people like you that have such a passion like we do, it's so true, man. It reinvigorates the passion and everything that got you into it in the first place.
Yeah, man, and it's definitely true. Anytime that I find myself feeling tired, music and stuff, it's I just remember dude, being a kid and just from such a fucking young age and being this is all that I've ever wanted, and I just remember even thinking in high school there were points where I was nah, it's really unrealistic for me to pursue music, and can't believe I ever even thought like that, because dude, I need this, it's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm not going to speak for other people, but I remember when I first started getting my feet wet in the industry, I basically, the thing that was in the back of my head, it was oh man, there'd be so many, musicians or bands that would kill to be in my position. So that would like, just make me more creative and make me work hard. Like, especially if I was having a bad day, it's like, oh, I feel privileged and honored to be in this situation. Like, it would bring me right back up and continue what you have to do to grind. Cause it is a very, very hard grinding, situation to try to be in a successful, musician, as a successful musician or a successful band in general. And you guys have partnered with EVR, Equal Vision Records, in general. So I mean, and this is for your, the debut album as well. And you released an EP with them. How have they been with you guys and collaborating and getting a whole marketing team together and everything?
Yeah, they're incredible to work with, and they really care about us, and are passionate about like the music that we do. And it's crazy because like we're an outlier band on a label like that, like where that's predominantly metal and stuff. So anytime that they post something like that we're doing and it's pretty poppy, or it's like far out there, like they're taking a risk on us, and just by letting us do what we want, really, like for the most part, they're taking a risk on us, and it's like, and I'm grateful, and they treat us like family, and they treat us really well, and so got nothing but love for.
That's amazing to have that kind of wherewithal too. It makes you just way more appreciative of like somebody offering something like that too. But how did that relationship start? Was it did it just kind of happen out of nowhere, or was it something that like culminated over time? Like, how did it happen?
We did like one of our first tours, and it was out to the West Coast, and then back, and we played an Albany show when we got back, which is our hometown. And we played that show, and and they were there, and they were like, yeah, we're interested. Like, they were like, we want to have him with you tomorrow, and like we're like, yeah, let's do it, let's talk.
Nice.
Yeah, and it just was always very genuine, and always just seemed like the right move from the very start,
Yeah.
No 360 deals, right? Huh? What'd you say?
No 360 deals. Hell no.
No, I would never think that a label would do that to any of their artists at all.
No, every inclination we've had, they've been fantastic. I mean, like just dealing with them, like getting the artists involved, they've been fantastic to deal with.
Yeah, like we've had Dewey from the Peer Pleasure podcast, Kyle from Picturesque. Who else was on the podcast that was Equal Vision? I was thinking there was one more, but still, I mean, like it's cool that
they've been throwing a lot at us lately. So
yeah, they have really,
which is amazing. We appreciate everything they've been giving.
I kind of want the whole roster on here. I'll collect you all.
Let's do it. Why not?
It's like Pokemon, dude.
Yeah. We should get it in like one webcam video too. Everybody in like an auditorium when we can do that. Just have them all, ask them all questions at once. Obviously, it would be simultaneous answers in unison, so it would be perfect. Yeah, what could go wrong?
Imagine that. Oh, the hectic energy that would with.
People would think we were in the Illuminati if we did that, honestly, considering the fact that like it would all be synced up to the one. And it's like just the same answer for every single person. Like every news radio station like correlates with like the major mainstream media. Like,
yo, it'll be like, you ever watch Incredibles 2?
Oh, I love that movie.
Yo, it'd be like how they like, you never watched Incredibles 2? Oh my god, they did like this thing over like the broadcast system on a TV, and they were like tripping everybody out, and they were getting everybody like to like, I don't even know. It's like they were like using like psychedelic stuff to get them all to just like listen into like this message. It was really creepy, but we could do that. That's like kind of what our goal is. So yeah, get ready.
Let's see it. I'm ready for it.
Get ready, world. And this it's cool because you guys are actually playing a pop-up show on the day of your release of the LP. And it seems like you guys are going through, the highest standard to make sure and enforce the social distancing and enforcing the protection between everybody else. The show would have been played by now by the time this episode comes out, but could you kind of give us a little insight of like, the ideas and like walk us through like how everything got set up and such? Because I'm very happy for you guys to do that. I just, you guys, it seems like it's going to be a lot of enforcing for sure, which might be complicated, but I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, first off, it's not a show. No, we're not like playing music at it. Like it's not a show. It's it's like a pop-up shop. So it's pretty much like a retail store thing.
Oh, okay.
That we're doing. Yeah. We really wanted to do like a show. Obviously, so does everybody else. like do like even try to do a drive-in show, but the logistics of it were just like hard. So instead, we're doing more. It's more like a retail thing. It's like a outdoors, like store. What it is, what it really is, and I'm so pumped on it, but like definitely, like the safety comes first for it, like, and it's like the precaution that we're taking is like insane, but it's like all these, like, there's stores and malls open and stuff, and it's like we're taking more precaution than those are, so it's really important to us, and we don't want to, we want to play it right, but we're really excited for it. It's going to be so much fun.
I respect the hell out of that, honestly. I mean, Zach knows. Like, we've been trying to book guest after guest after guest just to make this be consistent. But we had one company that gave us a band who recently played a gig where there was no safety protocol. And Zach and I was like, Zach, we can't have this guy on here, man. Like,
because I mean, like, as small as our reach is now, like, we got it. Like, everybody that's involved with this stuff, we have a responsibility to promote the right way to do this. Whether doesn't even matter what side you lean and what you believe. Can we all just come to a common agreement that let's just protect the person to my left and to my right?
Correct.
My right. I play it out on my left first. That's bad.
It's like it's that easy. Like, yeah, and it's just respectful. It's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's why I respect the hell out of you guys, because of the fact that I looked at the sign and everything's strictly enforced. I'm like, oh, these guys are gonna do something right. Maybe they have the answer, because I've been talking with other guests like, what can we do? I mean, the only thing that I really see that a lot of recently is the live shows, with bundles with their merch or other ways of communicating with like a Q&A questionnaire at the end of the video or such. So I was like, oh, maybe Young Culture's got the answer. Like, I was thinking like there would be like little squares that people would have to stand in. I was thinking it was gonna be like an acoustic gig, but that's cool. It's a merch up pop-up store. Really stoked for you guys on that.
Yeah, it's and it's like, obviously, I want to do shows as much as the next person, but it's got to be safe and sound, and like just take these things seriously. Well,
we commend that, because I bet you the urge is like too real. So
yeah,
right. I mean, I'd hope.
I respect it.
Yeah, every band, every musician wants to get out there and play a live show again, from all types of tiers, from the local scene to the big touring packages. I mean, it's just a shame because like things are changing drastically with venues being moved. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the Chameleon Club. I think that was there for like 20 something years. They had to move down the street due to the fact that they can't pay rent. So
I think I played there with Seaway.
No shit.
Hey, yeah. That's what having heart attack, man, and free throw. But that's sad, man. That's unfortunate. Like, yeah, it's a real bummer. It's fucking all sucks, dude. Entertainment industry's hurting, but what's being negative gonna do?
I mean, hopefully, just like the ingenuity of like these artists and like being able to do the Facebook Live stuff or just live on different platforms. I mean, like a huge podcast me and George are fans of is the Two Bears One Cave with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. We were talking a little bit about it, but like they've kind of like circumvented how they're making money on the comedy side. They've done it through ticket sales, through doing like a third party streaming platform and doing like just raucous off the wall shit like you can never get away with on YouTube. But like, as goofy as it is, it's genius. And I know like we had Thank You Scientist on, and they're going to be doing a live stream event for Halloween, and they're going to be goofy. Like, that's what their fans love. Exactly. Yeah. So maybe like this is opening a door for more revenue, because with the streaming stuff still being figured out and how musicians and artists are supposed to be paid, maybe this is a way we can definitely pump the money into the artists and have them get the most out of their creativity. So maybe it's opening up another door. Maybe that's the good thing out of this.
Yeah, that would obviously be like so ideal, like, but we'll see what happens, taking it day by day.
Yeah, seriously. What do you have planned for the future with Young Culture? Like, what is the mindset in the tremendous brains that all three of you have collectively together?
So sweet of you, George.
Hey, I love everybody that comes on this podcast, man. Like, there's a reason they're on.
He
So
butters them up. That's what he does.
yeah, I do.
No, but just I mean, like, what we can do, it's like we've been planning so long to do this and whatnot, and I'm just praying, that it goes all well and that everything ends up, right and whatnot. But other than that, like, only the things that I can do and just prepare things and just write new songs and just try to keep in touch with the fans and play shows when they can come back,
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, you're doing it right too. But I appreciate you coming through. I'm glad everybody's safe. I love this album. I'm sure a lot of other people are gonna love this album too. And if there's any way you can contact these guys, they're at Young Culture New York on Instagram and Twitter. Seems like if you really want to get an answer from them or reply, they will do it probably immediately. So
Yeah, but by the time this comes out next week, this album will have gone viral and it's in every country in the world.
Let's hope so. Speak it into existence.
yeah, what's the
Absolutely.
over under on that? What's the over under? I'd say like 7.5.
I think that's good. I think minus $1 million. Let's go with that. No, man, but definitely appreciate you coming on. The new album kicks ass, so definitely check it out on all streaming platforms everywhere. Buy it.
now.
Cheers, homies. Appreciate y'all hitting me up and hope to see you guys soon.
Thanks,
Absolutely,
Alex.
man.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah. Peace.